This is Boxing Tickets, and we are delighted to be joined once again by the main man in Galway, John Cooney. How are you, John?
Yeah, I'm all good. All good. Good to be back.
I was just saying to you there, obviously before we started, and we were having some teething problems with internet. Obviously it's nearly a year since obviously I last seen you. Obviously, probably fair to say, John, a career high. Obviously fighting on a matchroom card and the zone all around the world in the Taylor Carmen 2 card.
Yeah.
They sort of nothing sort of since like it sort of you went from the highest of the highs to probably the lowest of the lows, sort of with the hand injury and everything else.
Yeah. Unfortunately, that's the game, isn't it? It's a tough one. Boxing's a tough game. Just as you think your career's about to take off, it kind of hits a stumbling block again. But look, it was a good performance. It was a great experience. It was a memorable one for myself and for my family. Obviously, it was a great card to be on. A big card. Obviously, a Katie Taylor card doesn't come around every often. So yeah, no, look, it was brilliant and it was a good performance from myself as well, which I was pleased about. But yeah, it was a shame I couldn't kick on after and get some big fights. But the plan is obviously, as you know, I'm fighting October the 26th now in your call. Get back one under the belt and it's big fights. Yeah, that's the plan. Just get back out there and obviously I left a good impression with Eddie and Matchroom, so I'm hoping to get back on that stage with them guys.
It's sort of it's a weird one. Obviously, your opponent on the night is obviously now your stablemate, and obviously Liam Gaynor. Like there was no sort of bad blood, sort of I guess the tease and sort of the build up. Having to try and sell a fight, of course, someone's not going to go. Oh, I'm going to get beat by him. There's the sort of macho sort of thing with it. We're both going to win.
Mm.
Like, is it strange for you now? Obviously, the fact that you've Liam as a regular, probably sparring partner, and obviously helping each other along now.
Yeah, I haven't spotted him just yet, but he does be in the gym. I think he's doing some course, so he can't come in the hours that I go in and stuff. He goes the evenings and that. But yeah, no, look, it's just business, isn't it? Boxing's a business like anything else. To me, it's just a fight. I don't dislike anyone. I don't really care too much about anyone. If I have to fight you, I'll fight you, and it's that simple. I could spy you, and then I could fight you. I could spy you leading up to the fight and still fight you. It just wouldn't bother me. I'm one of them people. I just at the end of the day, it's a fight. Unless you do something to me personal, it's never personal for me. It's just a fight, like, and I want to win every fight, no matter who it's against. So yeah, that's it.
You probably couldn't have put on a better statement sort of night. Like, did you ever think it probably the fight was going to go as quick as it did? Like, obviously, I guess sometimes in your head you sort of a picture, and probably in your mind you were probably thinking about make sure I don't fall and make an arsehole of myself walking down the ramp into the ring. Like, did you ever imagine that the
No, I
fight would go
wasn't
so
thinking
early?
that. I wasn't thinking that. No, I was lapping up. I was made for the big stage. I genuinely believe that. I feel like I haven't really even scratched the surface. So yeah, I did believe I could do that to Liam Garner. I know he's a tough lad. He is a tough lad. He's been in with some decent fighters, and he's left a good account of himself. But I believe I'm levels above that. I believe I believed on the day that I could do that. I knew that if I went out there and I asserted myself the way I can, on any fighter, then they're gonna know about it. And I was so mentally prepared and physically prepared, but mentally I was so psyched up. Maybe people didn't even think in fight week or whatever. Maybe I seemed calm, but in my head, like I'd lived this moment 1,000 times. So I was so calm, but I was so hyped up in my head. I was so ready that I knew that I was going to put on a performance like that. Maybe I didn't think it was going to be the first round, but I honestly believed that I was going to get him out there in the first 3 or 4 rounds. And moving forward, even onto bigger fights, I feel like if I assert myself onto fights like that on fight night, I believe in that weight category, super featherweight. There's not many fighters that I can't get out of there. So yeah, it's just about kicking on now and getting them big fights and proving I am what I say I am, or what I believe I am.
It probably in some ways, like obviously in the aftermath, you sort of done damage to your hand. You sort of had an operation there. Was that caused during the fight, or was it something that had been niggling you for a while?
Niggling me for a while, yeah. Niggling me for a while, yeah. Just listen, part of the game, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? But I'm all good. I'm all good now. So back sparring regular. I was sparring today. I was sparring Monday. I sparred Adam Hexton this week. He's another Galway fighter, amateur, very good lad. Sparring Senan Kelly today. So yeah, getting rounds in a plenty. I was sparring Miles the other week, mixing and moving around and trying to get as many spars as possible, and just keep getting back into it. I've plenty of time now. I think it's 8 weeks, is it? I think it's the 20s. Yeah, about 8 weeks. 8 weeks this week, I think it is, until the 26th of October. So yeah, I'm in good stead. I'm the fitness is good, I'm sparring good and I'm happy, you know what I mean? I'm happy to be back and happy to be back in the gym with the boys, with Stephen and Ryan and that. And yeah, look, it's all good. It's all good. And looking forward to a big end to the year. Hopefully
Obviously,
now
I was
go
going to
on.
say, sort of in your rehabilitation, you sort of decided, you and the missus, to obviously head off to Australia for a bit. Did that sort of help clear the
Yeah.
mind for you in a way?
Yeah, clear it or wreck it. I don't know. Yeah, look, it's a difficult one being away from the sport, when you love it. And obviously, like I say, it's a bittersweet moment as well with being on the Katie show. I thought my career was just about to take off. And then I got that blip, and then we went to Australia. And I guess while I was over there, I was just, I guess, kicking myself, but that's just because I knew I couldn't be doing what I wanted to be doing, but I knew it would come, and I'm back now and stuff. So it's one of them things. You try not to dwell on stuff or try not to overthink things, and you go through these moments in life. There's for every up there's a down, and for every down there's an up. So yeah, look, I'm back, and that's all that really matters. Do you know what I mean? And I'm happy. I just want to move forward now, and hopefully there'll be no more problems.
You seem, obviously, I don't know whether it's just obviously me or anybody else watching, you seem there's a different look about you. You're fully recharged. Like, it'll probably feel weird for you in some ways. Obviously, your call, obviously, I know that you're originally born in London, was not correct? Or I
Yeah,
might get the wrong way.
West London. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, West London. Yeah, yeah,
So,
yeah.
so obviously, come back to London again. Obviously, I think it was back at the early stages of last year in London, and obviously back to London again to York Hall. Like, it'll sort of feel different from walking down the ramp in the Three Arena all around the world in the zone. They obviously been in York Hall. Not to say, not slating the show promoters or anything else like that, but
Mm.
it'll be a reality check for you. But I guess that hunger is to get back on the big stage again.
Well, yeah, the yes and no. There's a double sword to that, really, double-edged sword, because I've always wanted to fight in York Hall. In England, York Hall is an iconic venue. Back in the '80s and the '90s and stuff. That's where all the British titles were held. Most British title fights would have been in York Hall. That was like, obviously we have bigger and better venues these days. In England they have the O2 and all these venues. But the reality is 30, 40 years ago, them them venues weren't there and boxing wasn't that big, and York Hall was the place that was happening, really. So even as an amateur, it was a place that was talked about a lot when I did my amateur boxing back in England. It was a place I always wanted to watch a fight because I've always heard about the atmosphere, because you're everyone's on top of the ring. The ring's in the middle of the floor and the seats, there's
The
pillars or
balcony.
whatever you want to call them, a
Balcony.
bit like the Ulster Hall, I think, up in Northern Ireland, if I'm
Mm.
not correct. But everyone's on top of the ring, like, so. It's supposed to be a cracking atmosphere, and supposed to be as hot as hell in there as well. And I love all that. That sounds like a good fight night to me. The last time I actually boxed in London, it was supposed to be on a York Hall show, and unfortunately it got pulled the last minute. I can't really remember now why, if I'm honest, but it got moved then the week later to the show in Canning Town, which was a good show, and it was good to have some friends and family from London over there. But it was a bit of a last minute change, so unfortunately it moved from a Friday night to a Saturday morning or a Saturday day. So a lot of people couldn't make it, and so yeah, I'm hoping to see a good crowd now for the one in York Hall in London. Good amount of time, like I say, the 28th of October. So I'm looking forward to it. It's gonna be good. It's gonna be good to get back in the ring, and it's always been a thing I've wanted to do and fight in York Hall. So yeah, best of both worlds, really.
I've been to York Hall previously, and it is a great venue. Obviously, the balcony is amazing. Like, it makes anybody taking a normal picture look like a professional photographer. You're that
Yeah,
close to the ring and you're on top of it. And they say obviously lose a good bit of weight, sort of fighting there with the heat and stuff as well. So, like, you may be able to make super bantam after after you're finished.
oh, yeah. I don't know about super bantam now. We'll see, but no, it's tough enough making super featherweight. But no, no, look, it's all good. Yeah, no. Yeah, I'm looking forward to getting back in there and putting all the super featherweights on notice again. And putting my name in there for some big fights. Like I say, looking to get that British title. That's what I want, the British or Commonwealth. Let's see where we're at in a few weeks' time after this fight, and we go from there. Obviously, speak to my manager Mark and see what we can produce. Go back to Eddie and Frank Warren and these boys and see what they have, what fights they have. If you can't get the British, we go for other fights. There's plenty of good fights in the super featherweight division now. There's plenty of good fighters. So yeah, I'm looking to put my name in there with all of them really and have some good scraps.
I was going to say there, obviously the British title's changed hands a couple of times. Obviously, since you've been out of action, since you've obviously last boxed as well, we've obviously had a world champion and anto cacace as well. So, like,
Yeah,
obviously,
yeah.
things are moving very, very fast. Like, have you kept an eye on, obviously, where you
Oh,
look at the British and Commonwealth titles and things like that?
of
You're
course.
keeping an eye on who has them. Do you have them on a dartboard or anything like that?
I'm watching everything. Yeah, yeah. I'm watching everything. Fair play to Kakachi. That was a good performance. Fair play to him getting a world title. The IBF. That's a dream come true for him. Fair play to him. It takes a lot to get there, as most professionals. It's a long haul. So fair play to him for doing that. But of course, I keep my eye on everything. I watch boxing religiously, really. Even like when I'm away from it, I'm watching it constantly. I drive the missus mad, really. But I love the game, and I'm watching all them super featherweights. There's a few names: Reece, Belotti. There's Ryan Garner. He's with Queensberry. I've sparred lads that he used to train with in Southampton many years ago, so I knew him from years ago. So that's a fight I'd love. That's a good fight. He's an up and comer like myself. There's Reece Belotti there. He's the British and Commonwealth. I see he's just been mandated to fight Michael Gomez. I'd like to fight with both of them, whoever the winner is, or if they fight, or I'll fight them in between. After this fight now. There's no going back for me. Like, I'm not turning nobody down. I'll fight anyone in the super featherweight division, and I do mean that. Even if it's past British level, I want big fights, and I'm willing to take the risk now. Do you know what I mean? I'm at that stage of my career and my life where I feel like, if I'm going to carry on, which of course I'm going to, it's got to be big fights. That's what I want. I want to produce on the big stage, and I want to stay on the big stage. So that's the plan.
It's
Yeah.
coming up 4 years now, pro as well. Obviously, I know you pretty much take a year out of that for obviously injury as well. Like, I'm guessing,
Yeah.
obviously, over that time you probably wanted to have more fights. You obviously have your first title in your waist, so that's giving you that new hunger now
Look,
moving forward.
yeah, look, there's been a lot of politics. If people knew half the things that have gone on in my career and understood a lot of the things, yeah, I could write a book on it. I feel like at this stage, the 4 years have been a long haul or whatever. I haven't had it easy. I know probably a lot of fighters say that. Do you know what I mean? But I genuinely haven't had it easy. I've had a few things that have stopped or stalled my progression. Some all nature of the game and some just bitterness of the game. You know, but look, at the end of the day, you can't stop a man that won't be denied, and I won't be denied. So yeah.
Definitely. Are you going to be a different animal coming into the ring the 26th of October? Obviously, now that the hands are sort of fully healed in a way, you'll have
No,
full
no, I'll
confidence.
be, I'll be the same. I'll be the same. I'll be the same. The exact same. The same intensity, same everything. Come to fight every time, and that's exactly what I'll be doing on October the 26th. Same as always.
Definitely. Well, look, John, obviously it's a pleasure as always to catch up with you. Obviously, it's been a long time coming, unfortunately, obviously through your injury and everything else, but great to see, obviously, you're back. Obviously, you're fit and healthy. You're ready to go again, and we can't wait to see you back in the ring on the 26th of October.
Yeah, nice one, lad. Appreciate that. I'm
All
looking
right,
forward
John,
to it.
catch up with you
Nice.
soon.
Go on. Bye.
Cheers,
Bye.
take
Bye.
care. Thanks. Bye bye. Bye bye.